साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। 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 साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्।
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my most humble, loving, and prayerful salutations at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagwan. Dear brothers and sisters, on behalf of the Sri Sathya Sai Tamil Nadu Seva Organization's East Coast District, Sai Kendra, and all the samitis here, including the Hiranandani, Bhajana Mandali, Shri Karnamai Sai Hiranyagarbha, we extend a very, very warm welcome, firstly, to our guest speaker for the Sai Gayathree Saptaham, who is none other than Shri Ghandikota Aryama. Now we can go talking about the greatness of this family, the rich spiritual heritage and proximity which they enjoyed with Bhagwan on various occasions for almost 4 generations. In fact, Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahe, the Sai Gayathree, was revealed by Bhagwan to Shri Ghandikota Subrahmanya Sastry, who was also known as the Rushi of the Sai Gayathree, because Swami revealed this through him. Today, we have his grandson and the son of Shri Ghandikota Subba Rao ji, who is also the Rishi of the other Gayatri mantras which Swami revealed through Shri Ghandikota Aryama's father, Shri Ghandikota Subba Rao. And in the video today, we very beautifully saw how Swami touched the Ajnana Chakra, the third eye for Shri Ghandikota Subba Rao. And we are very grateful to you, sir, Shri Ghandikota Aryama, for coming to us and spending 5 days with us. And possibly this is one of its kind, by Swami's grace, the very first Sai Gayathree Saptaham in the world. A quick introduction of Shri Ghandikota Aryama, who is our chief guest and speaker today. He was one of the founding members of the Sarva Dharma Service Center in New Jersey, which is into so many humanitarian activities, directly blessed, guided by Bhagwan, right from the conceiving of the idea to the design of the site, as well as the various activities, both spiritual and service-oriented, which are going there now. In the years of 1990s, especially 1995, when the internet was a very, very new phenomenon globally, the Ghandikota Aryama launched the Sai Darshan website, saidarshan.org, which I will pray that all of you should go and have a look at. Very, very rich repository of all of Swami's teachings, his photos, and so much of useful information also around the Sai Gayathree. Shri Ghandikota Aryama has been active in many, many Sai centers in New Jersey. I was lucky to meet him. And 2 of his younger brothers are also alumni and seniors to us who studied at Prasanthi Nilayam. We are very grateful that the whole Ghandikota family is joining us for this Saptaham. And over the next 3 days, we will hear Shri Ghandikota Aryama. And then we will also have satsangs with his brothers. And we really look forward without any much delay, sir. And we are grateful to Bhagwan again for having given us this wonderful opportunity. And we will now request that you please enlighten us about the entire heritage of Sai Gayathree and the great experiences of your family. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, everyone. Namaskaram. Sai Ram. So I'm very happy to have been invited to visit you. I spent a year in Chennai, or Madras as it was, in 1949, 1950. Because my father came to the United States at that time. And so we have a very close connection we used to live to Chennai. We used to live in Mylapore at that time. And so I'm very, very happy to be here with you today and to share a few of the blessings that Swami has bestowed upon the entire Ghandikota family, and a whole lot of others, because this is a very unique avatar which has affected the lives of millions all over the world. So I'm very, very happy to be here with you today. So if we can start the presentation, then I'll talk it through. Thank you. Om Shri Sai Ram, everyone, brothers and sisters. Humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of the Yugavatar, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. He's the Yugavatar. Next, please. So this is our program invitation. Next, please. God comes down as an avatar for the love of his children, as Rama, Krishna, Sai, our beloved Bhagavan. He's Pratyaksha Bhagavan. That means he has come in this form. The formless has come as a form. This is a picture of Swami with a young Krishna doing one of the plays that was done in the auditorium. Next, please. So Swami's basic message to everyone is love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never, because the Lord is in all. So the Lord pervades the universe, not only this universe, but uncountable universes. And he is the supreme Bhagavan, supreme Brahman, who came as a divine form for our blessings. Next, please. And his life is his message. Endless loving service. Swami wore out that body in doing service. He never slept. He may have retired to his room, but he never slept. This is unique. So this body of his was constantly engaged in endless loving service. Next, please. So here, so my favorite quotations of Swami. I have come to light the lamp of love in your hearts, to see that it shines day by day with added luster. I have come not to disturb or destroy any faith, but to confirm each in his own faith, so that the Christian becomes a better Christian, the Muslim a better Muslim, and the Hindu a better Hindu. Honor all religions. Each is a pathway to God. There is only one religion, the religion of love. There is only one language, the language of the heart. There is only one caste, the caste of humanity. There is only one law, the law of karma. There is only one God. He is omnipresent. Start the day with love. Spend the day with love. Fill the day with love. End the day with love. This is the way to God. Prema. Love in thought is truth. Always speak the truth. Love in action is right conduct. Always do the right action. Love in understanding is peace. Love in feeling is nonviolence. So these are some of my favorite quotations of Swami, especially to start the day with love. So love is the pathway to God. There is only one religion, the religion of love. Next, please. So how do we keep in touch with Swami? Namasmarana, a constant remembrance of the sweet name and loving form of the Divine Father, Mother. Bhagavan will appear in the form of your choosing. Hands that help are holier than lips that pray. So constant Namasmarana or chanting of the divine name. Pick a name, pick a form, and continue this mentally, even as you do your work. Whenever you can remember, take a little energy from that name and the form. Next, please. So this is a picture of that was materialized by Swami from my grandfather in 1965. And he said this is his Nija Swarupa, or true form. The formless Brahman manifested is represented by the Linga, Shivlinga. All names are his. All forms are his. He pervades the universe. So this picture is in our altar right here. This is a picture of this is the altar, and we have that, and it's a very, very valuable materialization, because here he says that the ovoid form of Brahman, which is the representation of the universe, the cosmos, that is his form of the formless. Next, please. So mantras for liberation. We have the classic Gayatri mantra. It was revealed aeons ago by the Rushi Kaushika. Kaushika was later known as Vishwamitra, as a friend to all because of his revelation of the Gayatri mantra to the public. It was only then known only to certain gurus and rishis and not widely spread. So he brought that mantra down to everyone. That was his strength. Vishwamitra was able to become a Raja Rishi and then became a Brahma Rishi. And with the power of the Gayatri mantra, he was able to create alternative universes. So he was not only a Rishi, but also a scientist. He had power that came from his divine nature and the chanting of the Gayatri mantra. Om Bhur Svaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yorah Prachodayat. So this is a very powerful mantra. It was revealed aeons ago. We don't know when. It is hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of years ago. The meaning. We meditate on that most adorable luster, effulgence of our Supreme Lord, who is our creator and source of eternal joy. May this light inspire and illumine our intellect and dispel the darkness. So this does not ask for anything other than joy and illumination of our intellect. It doesn't ask for material things, but it can give absolute joy and everything you need if you keep chanting this constantly. It can be chanted by anyone at any time. There are no restrictions. It's a very extremely powerful mantra, and it should be correctly chanted to reap the full benefit of the divine vibrations that it sets out. It can be chanted internally for more power. It is an order of magnitude higher if you chant it internally with conviction, devotion, and visualizing the Brahman as a linga. Next, please. So this is the modern day Sai Surya Gayathree, or Sai Gayathree as we say. This was revealed through our grandfather, Brahma Shri Ghandikota Subba Rao, on December 24th, Christmas Eve, 1977. And the place was in Trai Vrindavan. This was revealed when Swami asked him to stand up and talk. And when they had a session at Trai Vrindavan on Christmas Eve. And so my grandfather got up and he asked Swami, Swami, I have a mantra that has been revealed to me. Can I chant it? And Swami said, certainly. And so that mantra is just like the Gayatri mantra of Vishwamitra. It is a extremely powerful one because this is the Kali Yuga avatar. This is the Gayatri for the Kali Yuga avatar. Om Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahe Satya Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. This meaning is, we know this Sai is the supreme divinity incarnate. We meditate on this God of truth. May this almighty personality lead us on the path of total liberation. So what does this offer? Total liberation. That means the end of the endless cycles of births and deaths by chanting the Sai Gayathree. So this is the power of the Sai Gayathree. And it was a great blessing for all of us that this was revealed by Bhagavan through grandfather Brahma Shri Ghandikota Subba Rao. So these two mantras are the mantras of liberation. And the first one was by Vishwamitra, aeons ago. And this one, our recent times, 1977, for us to now chant and achieve total liberation. Next, please. I'll just briefly mention this Sai Surya Gayathree. We'll cover this in detail in the following days. But essentially, this was revealed to Father Ghandikota Subba Rao Garu. And this was 7 a.m., September 22nd, 1997. So this was when Swami was riding the golden chariot for the first time. And when my father saw Swami, this vision of the Sai Surya Gayathree came to him. And that mantra is Om Shri Bhaskaraya Vidmahe Sai Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Surya Prachodayat. So this is another very powerful mantra. I chant this, typically I chant the Gayatri and the Sai Gayatri in the morning. And then I chant the Gayatri and the Sai Surya Gayatri at noon. And then the next one, which is the Sai Hiranyagarbha Gayatri in the evening, along with the Gayatri mantra. So the meaning of this mantra is, we know this self-shining being. We meditate on this divinity as Sai Surya. May this divine effulgence enlighten us on the path of total liberation. Once again, this is a very powerful mantra. Next, please. Sai Hiranyagarbha Gayatri. Hiranyagarbha is the linga that is the name given to the lingam that Swami materialized during Shivaratri. And so this was in 1999, 6:15 a.m., February 15th, 1999, when this linga emerged from Swami's mouth. It is every one of those creations by Swami in public is the creation of another universe represented by the linga form. Om Prematmanaya Vidmahe Hiranyagarbhaya Dhimahi Tanna Satyaf Prachodayat. Meaning, we know this embodiment of divine love, Satya Sai. We meditate on this golden wombed divine personality. May truth incarnate, Satya Sai, inspire us on the path of liberation. So these are all mantras for liberation that were revealed from aeons ago till just recently as 1999 for this. And we are very fortunate that we've had these blessings of Swami. That Swami said that this Hiranyagarbha linga is the concrete form of love that he's brought forth. It's a creation that he does countless times. And sometimes we're there to see it, sometimes we're not. In other words, the Lord of the universe is constantly producing universes, whether we see it or not. And on brief occasions, we are given the chance to see that divine creation in this form. Next, please. So this is a picture taken in 1981 of the mandir of grandfather and Swami. And he passed away in 1986. Basically, his last message to my father, Shri Ghandikota Subba Rao, was, never ever forget that Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba is God himself. So this is the Ghandikota Rahasya. So there's a film by that name about Ghandikota is actually a Vijayanagar fort in the city of Ghandikota, or the town of Ghandikota. And so this is the Ghandikota secret that was revealed to everyone through Bhagavan, through our grandfather, and that is that Satya Sai Baba is God himself. Pratyaksha Bhagavan. Next, please. Bhagavan Baba with father and grandfather. And so these three Gayatris are called the Sai Threes. Swami gave that name. Next, please. So Another item here is this Sri Sai Chakra. This yantra came to my father in a dream when he was in Puttaparthi. And then in the morning, as soon as he got up, he quickly came and drew. Of course, he's not a great artist and he's not a tantric either. But basically, he came up with this version of the chakra. It's very much like the Sri Chakra, but it incorporates all the Gayatris and the Sai Shivoham mantra as the dot, the bindu in the middle, along with the Gayatris, Sai Gayathree and Sai Surya Gayathree and Sai Hiranyagarbha Gayathree are in the rings. And these are all different religions, gateways through to, so there's the Om, the Hindu, the Sanatana Dharma, and there's the fire, the Zoroastrianism, there's the menorah of the Hebrews, there's the chakra of the Buddhists, and there's the Jain symbol, the cross of the Christians, the star and crescent of Islam, and then there's the Sikh symbol. So all of these are gateways to the Lord, and these mantras are pathways to liberation, and in the center is the bindu of Sai Shivo. This is the Sri Sai Chakra. This came in a dream. The next day, he wrote it down quickly as a sketch. He's not a great artist, but he did that, and then took it to Bhagavan that day. And Bhagavan called him in the morning interview time, and then he said, "Swami, this came to me in a dream. Yes, I sent it to you," Bhagavan said. And so this is another gift of the Sri Sai Chakra. It is extremely auspicious. There are high resolution photos of this in Sai Darshan, the website Sai Darshan. And if you print it out and place it in your home, it is a great blessing, very much like the Sri Chakra, but now done up for universal message of Swami. Various sayings are all incorporated within the lotus leaves that are shown there, lotus flower petals. And so it's a very extremely powerful yantra. Can be placed in your puja room, etc. We have one here too. In fact, there's a silver one that we have that we made, that was made specially by my father and given to the family. Next, please. So the unique triple avatar, Shirdi Sai, Satya Sai, Prema Sai. These are the Yuga avatars, but actually they're all one. The previous avatar, Shirdi Baba, laid the basis for secular integration and gave mankind the message that duty is work. Duty is work. The mission of the present avatar is to make everybody realize that the same God or divinity resides in everyone. People should respect, love, and help each other, irrespective of color or creed. Thus, all work can become a way of worship. Work is worship, duty is God. Finally, Prema Sai, the third avatar, will promote the evangel news that not only does God reside in everybody, but everybody is God. In other words, everybody will be liberated. That will be the final wisdom which will enable every man and woman to go to God. The three avatars carry the triple message of work, worship, and wisdom. We are so blessed. Next, please. Another picture of enlarged Sai avatars. Shirdi Sai, Satya Sai, Prema Sai. Think of them as one Sai. Next, please. This avatar is unique. No avatar has done like this before. Going among the people, the masses, the millions, inspiring mankind from all over the world, healing them, guiding them, consoling them, uplifting them, consoling them, directing them along the paths of Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, and Ahimsa. Truth, right conduct, peace, love, and nonviolence. So just as you plan your worldly career, plan your life from now on at least, to earn liberation in this lifetime with the guidance and grace of the Divine Guru himself. In other words, we can all go to Bhuloka Vrindavana, as they say, or the divine heaven of the Lord, be with him and merge in him as you please, and escape from the continuous, endless cycles of birth and death. Do not take his blessings for granted. Show your love for all and earn liberation in this lifetime. Every moment of my life, please be with me. There's a bhajan. Please chanting all of that all the time. Talk to Swami every moment because he's there in your heart. Spiritual heart is on this side. It's on the right side. This is a regular heart. There's a spiritual heart. He's always there, enshrined in your heart, spiritual heart. The temple of God is within you. The formless descends as a form, avatar, for the ascent of man to the formless. How fortunate we are. Next, please. This picture was taken during the, in 1985, 60th birthday celebrations. I was very fortunate to have been there and myself. I didn't take this, but a very good friend of mine, Mr. Ramdiaji, who also worked in the UN with along with my father. Service to man is service to God. Work is worship. Duty is God. Swami was going around in line after line in the hot sun, feeding hundreds of thousands. As we said, those years that he was here, his body was worn out doing service, service, service. Next, please. So Swami is always with you, watching and guiding. You just have to ask. Ask and thou shalt receive. Be worthy of what you're asking, though. In other words, you have to put in your effort and you will be rewarded. Next, please. So now I was asked to give a few, pictures and memories of our Ghandikota family. So this is a Ghandikota family tree. Of course, I'm not going to go through this, but in the 1500s, after the fall of Vijayanagara, which was the capital of the empire of Vijayanagara, the Ghandikota family migrated from Ghandikota Fort on the Penna River in Kadapa district to Undrajavaram in West Godavari. So Ghandikota Purushottama Bhatt was in the 1500s. So here we have the succession, and we, our family was entrusted with the Yajurveda. So all of these were scholars, pandits of very high caliber. Unfortunately, that all ended with our grandfather and my elder uncle, Lakshmi Narayana Dikshitulu, who passed away from typhoid in 1938 at the age of 22. By that time, he had learned the 4 Vedas and the 6 Shastras, just like my grandfather. So after that, my father, Ghandikota Venkata Subba Rao Garu, was in 1926, he was born. He originally went to a Patashala, but then my grandfather was working for, was the Asthana Pandita for the Vijayanagaram kingdom in the near Vizag. So so they sponsored my father and said, you have one son who's a Vedic Pandit. Why don't you put him in English education, because the country needs good scholars and someone to communicate our great heritage to everyone. So they sponsored my father until his PhD. He went to university in Madras. He was a gold medalist in Loyola College, Madras. And so then he went to the United States, sponsored by the Vijayanagaram court, the king. So then, so that's our lineage. Next, please. So this is a map of, you scroll up a little more, please. So there, at the arrow points to where Ghandikota is, you'll see it's not far. If you could scroll just a bit more, you'll see Puttaparthi at the bottom. Yes. So it's not, so we came from that area actually. And then migrated to the Godavari and Delta area in the 1500s. Next, please. So this is a photo that was taken by a roving photographer in 1918. You see the elderly gentleman on the left is Lakshmi Brahmashri Lakshmi Narayana Dikshitul Garu, who's our great-grandfather, and the great-grandmother, Subbulakshmi. And in the middle is our grandfather, Ghandikota Subba Rao. This was when he was 18. He was actually, no, this was 1918, so he was like 22. He was 22 years old at the time. So he got this roving photographer, had him take this photo in Narendrapuram, which is in East Godavari district. So we're very fortunate that we have this photo preserved. Next, please. Oh, by the way, our great-grandfather, he had 8 daughters and no sons to carry on the Ayurvedic tradition. So he conducted a Putra Kameshti Yaga for a son. That yaga gives blessings for 3 generations, that generations, and 3 generations after, because he had no sons to carry on the Ayurvedic tradition. So this was also the yaga that was done by Dasharatha for Rama's birth. So you see that there are mantras, there are yagas, there are yajnas that are done for specific benefits or for the benefits for all. Those mantras are very powerful. So rishis can invoke the full power and potential. So he was also a rishi of great power and potential. Next, please. This is a photo of the Tangirala family house where I was born. That's my mother holding me at the top, second from the right side is, yes, that's me that she's holding in 1949. So that house was a Veda Padashala. They would have a number of students there who would come and learn. So my mother was born in a Veda Padashala. And so every day you could hear the chanting of the Vedas, the teachings and the learnings. And so that instilled a great power in everyone there. They're all, and so I myself was benefited by that. Next, please. So this was taken in 1949 in Mylapore before father left for Columbia University. As I said, he was sponsored by the Vijayanagaram king. And we lived for a year in Madras waiting for passports and visas. My mother is holding me there at the top right. And this is my uncle on the left. And my grandfather, father, grandfather, and grandmother. Next, please. So these are some photos of the early days in New York. When we came to, my mother and I came to New York in 1952. And basically we took a Lockheed Super Constellation from Bombay, and it's made 7 or 8 stops before it came to New York. So that was in 1952. No jets then. So it was a 3-day trip. And this was in Jones Beach, New York. The one on the right is in our apartment in New York. My second brother, Ramesh, was born in New York City in 1953. And we lived in that apartment. Then in 1956, this is a picture at a Native American reservation. So you see those 3 boys who are Native American Indians. And here I am, the only Indian boy, the Indian boy there. So we have 2 different types of Indians. And so this was in upstate New York. It's near a lake called Lake George. Next, please. Then in 1956, after that picture, we went to Bangkok, Thailand. We lived there for 2 years because our father was seconded to the UN agency called ECAFE. And our third brother, Manohar, was born in Bangkok in 1956. So we were an international family. My father worked in an international organization, the United Nations, which he joined in 1951. And he was a senior, he joined as an economic affairs officer and ended and retired in 1985 as a director of the energy division. We returned to New York in 1958, and our brother Ravi Shankar, Sai student in the university, was born in 1960. Next, please. The Ghandikota family first heard of Bhagavan Sri Satsai Baba in 1958, when father's elder sister, Subbalakshmi, moved with the family to Puttaparthi for several years. They lived there, and she used to cook for Swami. This is a representational picture of the entrance in the old days. Nothing like the glory that it is now. Next, please. So father was seconded to UNICEF, United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund in New Delhi in 1959, the end of 1959. On the way, we visited Prasanthi Nilayam and had the first vision of Bhagavan. So this is a fairly simple building, but it was very powerful because the avatar made that his home and his ashram and his place of darshan. Those days you could just walk in and sit down and have chats with Swami. And then it became more organized and more restrictive as the years went by. Next, please. So Swami visited Rajahmundry in 1960 and gave a talk. That's when grandfather was an orthodox pandit who knew the 4 Vedas and the 6 Shastras. First saw and heard Swami and was immediately struck by his aura and his powerful words. His belief established Swami as divinity in our hearts because he was an expert, a Vedic pandit who knew Vedartha, who could recite, spontaneously from any point, full random access memory. He had a photographic, vision, so he could see something for once and immediately remember it, could bring it up. So and this comes from Vedic scholarship, because in the training, your memory, your thought process, everything becomes enhanced. So these are representative books that he wrote. Shri Satyasai Vedavani. This was in Telugu and then translated into English. Shri Satyasai Avatara Vaibhavam, the glory of the Shri Satyasai Avatar. This was written by him in Telugu and then translated and printed. These are available from the ashram. Next, please. So Bhagavan here is with the Prasanthi Vidvan Mahasabha in 1965. So Swami appointed grandfather to the Prasanthi Vidvan Mahasabha, and he participated in many darshan. So this was, you can see some of the great scholars in the background. And Swami sitting there like the Lord amongst all the rishis. Thank you. Next, please. This is one of the later photographs in 1985 of Swami. Swami called him for an interview, gave him a shawl, that red shawl that he's wearing, and my grandmother's on the left. Swami was extremely loving to all, and we were very grateful. Next, please. So this picture was taken in 1969. This Ghandikota family is on the right. Of course, there were one or two people who were strangers who sat next to us too. But my brother Ramesh is on the extreme right. My father and Ravi are on the left. Not on the left side, but on the right portion. You can see my brother, one of them is bending down quite low. But this is in 1969. In those days, you could walk up to the veranda and sit down and wait for darshan. They started getting a little more organized since the 50s. Next, please. So in contrast, this was I took the pictures. That one in 1969, this one in 2006. Sai Darbar. You can see how magnificent it is. How many thousands, 40,000 or more come during this time. Dr. Abdul Kalam, the president of Bharat was addressing the devotees. I was sitting in almost the same spot when I took both these photos. Next, please. This is in the flat that Swami assigned for grandfather and the parents. So here you can see the little mandir that my father and mother had built, pictures. So that chair on the left, that's Swami's chair. He sat in that chair many times because he used to come and visit. And this is in the ashram itself, and the West Block. It was close enough, but not too close, so that the noise and disturbance of the shops that used to be located on the side, it's behind that. So it was very easy to get to, but isolated from the crowds to some extent. So this was a very nice flat. There was on this side of the veranda, this is the mandir, and on the other side, my father had his office. And inside there was a sitting room, a dining room, and then a bedroom, and inside 2 bathrooms and a kitchen. Fully, over the years, my father and mother refurbished it and installed air conditioning, all the comforts of life in the ashram itself, with an internet connection for my father. So this was a great blessing. It's like a haven of peace. So every time we want to go and enjoy that, there's so many fond memories, Swami coming, talking, and all of us being happy and joyful in that ashram room. Next, please. This was on 1986, during my father's 60th birthday. He was born November 7th, 1926. So he's a few weeks older than Swami. So this is the Shashtipurti time, and Swami conducted that himself. This is a very peaceful photo of father and mother and Swami. That chair, my father actually brought and gifted to Swami at that time. Actually, in 1985, when he retired from the UN. Now, what happened there was that in 1984, December, he had gone to India, and Swami and his father had told him, our grandfather had told him, you've been there since 1951. You said you'd go for 2 years and get a PhD and come back. But now it's been 30 years and I'm now 90 plus. When are we ever going to be able to talk and discuss so many things that I wanted to discuss with you? So he said, okay, I will retire. Then he came to he brought Swami, my grandfather, and they all went to Puttaparthi. And then Swami said, unasked, he said, Subba Rao, if you don't come home when your father is asking you to, you will have to come back for 100 lifetimes. So the price of not obeying the father at his elderly father's request is 100 lifetimes. So you know that karma can be tough. Karma can be gentle or it can be tough. So he avoided 100 lifetimes and it achieved moksha by obeying the command to retire from his high position at the age of 58. He took early retirement and came back. And people were astounded because nobody gives up a cushy UN job so easily. But he discarded it and took the retirement. But he was fortunate because when he was about to put in his retirement papers, the UN was in a budget deficit because of the United States not paying its dues. This was in 1985. So for the first time, they offered an early retirement scheme. And my father, with 33 years, qualified for full pension benefits. So it was no problem for him to take the retirement. This is all Swami's blessing. Next, please. So here, Swami materialized this Mangala Sutra and performed the Shashtipurti for my father. So mother wore that Mangala Sutra. He asked my father to get up and put it on, and he conducted the Shashtipurti in November of 1986. Next, please. So this is the Ghandikota family. This was right just after our grandfather had passed away in October. He passed away on the first day of Dasara, 1986. That's why my father is fully shaven. He conducted all the ceremonies. Swami made all the arrangements, and the pandita, and then it was a full Orthodox, ceremonies that were conducted for grandfather because he was a great Vedic pandit and scholar, poet, scholar. And so this was when we came from my father's Shashtipurti. You'll see all the 5 brothers and the daughters that were born then, and myself and my wife, and Ramesh, Manohar, Ravi, and Sanjay. So happy times. Next, please. So this is Swami in Ooty, father translating. Next, please. This is the convocation ceremony. Swami with his, here Ratnakarji is on the left and Sanjay on the right. Next, please. Swami and father watching Satya Harishchandra in the Purnachandra auditorium. Swami sitting next to him. His father sitting next to Swami. And he would always be like Shankaracharya's disciple, always be careful. So he was always doing namaskaram to Swami constantly, because he took every opportunity to do that. Because Maya can come in at any time. But remember that he is the full Lord, the Lord of the universe, sitting next to him. Next, please. This is the wedding of Ravi and Sanjay that Swami performed in Bangalore. It was one of the great occasions where we had 1 week of celebrations with Swami intimately every day. So he performed their weddings. Both were students of Sai. Ravi spent 11 years, 5 as a student for BCom and MCom, and 6 years as a lecturer in the Vrindavan College. And Sanjay spent 5 years, 3 years as a student, and for bachelor's and then for master's. Next, please. This was giving Annaprashna, Swami during that time, Bhagavan giving Annaprashna and first haircut to our second son, Aryavardhan, in April of 1990. In Vrindavan, there he does the cutting, and he did the Annaprashna and the haircut, and then he joked, Swami joked, "Do you want me to do his wedding too?" And then mother said, "Yes, Swami, please." So take every occasion to ask and thou shalt receive. But you have to do your work too, your duty. Next, please. Another picture of Swami in the interview room in 1994. Next, please. So this was in 1995 during the birthday celebrations, and Swami gave me an interview on the birthday. He gave permission to start the website, saidarshan.org. He materialized that ring that you can see. That was next, please. You see, we conducted the upanayanams of our 3 boys, Jayavardhan, Aryavardhan, and Ramesh's son, Harshavardhan. They were given their names by Swami. Next, please. So, father is in the foreground with white hair. Swami on the plain, 2002. Next, please. Family picture with my wife Bala, Swami, myself, Jayavardhan, Aryavardhan, and Vijayshri. We didn't have children for 17 years, and Swami gave us the blessing for children. Not only one, not just one like we asked, but 3. Our cup overflowed with the blessings of the Lord. Next, please. This is Ramesh and family, December 2002. Next, please. This is Manohar and family, August 2003. Next, please. This is Ravi's family. This is his son sitting in Swami's lap, He also has a daughter, but unfortunately, I couldn't find a photo of her with them and Swami. Next, please. This is Sanjay and family. That's Akshaya. The name was given by Swami. Sitting in his lap. Next, please. So this is Swami at the entrance to the mandir, the puja, the bhajan hall. And Swami, my father, sitting at his feet, as you normally see. So with this, I'll come to the end of today's presentation, and we can then move on to the next item. Sai Ram, thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to you. I'm very, very happy to be here with you. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, sir. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
So we have a few questions. The very first question, the next 10-15 minutes, we will go through the questions which have come from the devotees. Could you please narrate some of the experiences around the photos we saw, starting with the video which you shared. So first question is, what exactly happened when Swami touched the Ajna Chakra? Can you tell us about that? Sai Ram.
Okay, Sai Ram. Basically, we didn't take that video. Someone actually took it and sent it to us. So, and this was in about 2000, I believe, the year 2000. And our father had gotten up and was talking to Swami about something which we don't know. And he just walked up and then touched him in the Ajna Chakra right here. Now, there are several different things that Swami does to raise the consciousness of the person, to give him a thrust of energy. So hastamastaka samyogam is when Swami puts his hand on your head. So he's done that many times for father, for grandfather. This is a transferring of energy and blessings. And this one is the first time I saw him doing anything like that, touching and activating the Ajna Chakra. So this is what gives you can see how happy father became. There's like a bliss, a momentary gift of bliss that he gave. And in fact, Swami had given liberation to grandfather, my father, and my mother. He used to tell us, you're here in this interview room because of these three people. He used to point my father out as he used to wear khadi clothes every day. He used to wear a three-piece suit in the United Nations. He graduated to a khadi, Andhra khadi style, pancha, khandua, etc. And he'd have these lalchis stitched. And he used to wear two different types, white khadi and brown khadi, kora khadi. And and Swami used to point them out to people, to visiting dignitaries who came. You see this simple-looking man sitting there in the corner, wearing khadi. He's actually was a director in the United Nations. And he says he fulfilled his obligation to his father. How? Why? Because when he asked, he resigned and came back. That sacrifice earned him his liberation. So we have to earn our liberation. We are constantly put through tests. So all of these actions that Swami gave to him, all of these blessings that he gave, was because he did the right thing. Do the right thing. Right conduct. Truth. When he used to walk out to darshan, he'd take especially in Bangalore, where he had to go outside, sometimes he had a shortcut through inside, but he'd go through the outside just to give little gifts to people on the way. A roll of bread. My mother was the same. She would, when my father used to work in the UN, he'd call at 5:30 or so, say, oh, I'm bringing 6 guests for dinner. My mother would not talk back. she'd immediately make something put together and serve that dinner. She did her duty as a householder, and therefore she got liberation. Can you imagine that? She studied until the age of till 7th grade. She studied, and then she was able to hobnob with presidents, prime ministers in the United Nations during receptions. Why? Because she lived in a Veda Padashala. The basic essence of Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema were imbibed in those days and inculcated in the children. She raised 5 children in the United States of America in the 1950s and 60s and 70s when there was so much turmoil, changes. We were able to live lives as Bharatiyas in the United States. Why? Because of the grounding of father and mother in Bharatiya culture and civilization. It's a great blessing and boon to be born as a Bharatiya. Remember that in this day and age where there are so many things that are happening. Be proud to be a good Bharatiya, and Swami has inculcated that in us. Next, please.
Sai Ram. So the next question, Sai Ram sir, the next question, actually you spoke about Bangalore. So I have 2 questions from one Mr. Shankar, but I'll just bring the Bangalore angle. I see Srimati Mangla Sridhar from Whitefield Ashram. She's asked this question of, has Swami personally taught you how to chant the Omkaram? So that is one question from her. And Sri Shankar Lingam Ramanathan, he has asked 2 questions. One is, with Swami at all times. And so if you can go through these 2 questions, it will be great. So one is, how do we chant Omkaram, and how do we connect with Swami at all times?
Okay. Now, Swami conducted my upanayanam in 1963. So at that time, we were living in Delhi, and we took a train down along with my grandfather, who was staying with us. And so I remember that that this was done in the shed number 1, which used to be near Ganesh Gate, and was then later demolished. But basically, we set up and started the ceremony, and then so Swami walked in, and I saw him for the first time for that visit. But he came, and I remember that he came from the entrance of the shed, and he was outlined with a glorious halo of orange light, and his aura. I saw that for the first time. The aura of Swami coming in, and then he came and materialized vibhuti. Half of it seemed to have fallen in my eyes. I had some eye trouble and poor vision in the right eye, but most of the vibhuti fell in my eyes, and I was blinking desperately trying to see Swami. But then he leaned over and chanted, Om. It has to come from the bottom and come up. Om Bhuvasva Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Chanted it 3 times. So that was a revelation to me too, the revelation of Gayatri Mantra. And my Ishtadevata before in the 50s was Krishna, Shri Krishna. So but once grandfather gave his stamp that he's the avatar of then he is divinity, then all of us started praying to Swami alone. Of course, we all love Krishna, we all love Rama, but for us, the Lord is this Prataksha Bhagavan, whom we've seen the formless as the form of Swami. Now, what was the second question, please?
How do we connect with Swami at all times?
Namasmarana, constant recitation of the name of the Lord with his form. And also remember that work is worship, duty is God. So while you're doing your duty, think of him. There are so many times that he's rescued me from hard problems. I'll discuss more of this as we go along in the next few days. but constantly thinking of him, chanting his name, and doing your work with dedication. Work is worship, duty is God. That is the way to Lord. And also, always be helpful. Love all, serve all. Take every little opportunity to do something good for somebody. And without expectations of reward. The reward will come. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to brood about it. Just do good and love all and serve all. Next, please.
Sai Ram, sir.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. So the next question is the photo which you had kindly shared with us, the high resolution photo of Swami as the true Saishvara form with the lingam and the various other, if I can say, the Nagadevata and Shirdi Sai Baba. And if you could throw some light in detail, and I think the question, because we're almost run out of time. So if you could please share some information on that whole experience and what is the significance of that photograph. Sai Ram.
Okay, I'll be very brief because this one is, that photo is, has a long discussion on it. But basically, if we look at the actual photo, I'll show you the actual photo. This is the actual photo that was materialized by Bhagavan. You'll note that it's rather small, and the one that we have enlarged this many times, but you'll see that we have we have Swami as the linga, Shivalinga there. So that represents the cosmos. And the absolute Brahman was formless. Now the lingam was the first form. And then we have the Omkara, Om. And then we have the seven serpents. These are all under the control of the Lord. So I can spend an hour on that, but briefly I will tell you that this was a very transformational photo because it gave us, Swami said this is his actual form. In other words, the ovoid form of the linga, and these all oral representations. There's Shirdi Baba in the corners there. And then this was materialized. It's only a small palm-sized photo. And I'll cover this in more detail in the later days of the discussions.
Right on.
Right on.
So the other thing is, I know, yes, a lot of devotees, it is good that you took us through the history of your family. And we kind of have structured just for the devotees' understanding. We wanted to know the full lineage of your family and how your grandfather was so blessed to receive the mantra. I'm sure today we saw only a preview or a trailer of the series of experiences which we're going to hear from you. But since we have another couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, Swami has always said technology is technology. It is amazing that in the year 1995, and the question here is that a lot of discourses of Swami mentioned focus on the internet and not the internet. So what was his reaction? You were talking about the interview where you made a website, Sai Darshan, which is still running. And I guess it's almost 25 years of that website, possibly the first or the oldest website of Swami. So what was his reaction at that time when he was saying technology is technology in the discourses, and then you present to him a website which is going to be on the internet, and then you even mentioned he materialized something. So if you could, conclude with that experience today.
You see, Swami is not dogmatic. Okay, so those days there was no experience of the internet and websites as such. So it was still in its early stages. So, but because we had, I was appointed study circle coordinator for the Sri Satsai Baba Center of East Brunswick. Then I wanted to get material for the study circle. So I thought, okay, now that I have some material, maybe I should share it. So I said, hey, why not come up with a website? And there was a friend of mine, a fellow Sai devotee, called Swaminathan in the United States. So he had also collected various things between his stuff and my stuff, we put together, we collaborated and put together Sai Dash and brought it up. And Swami is not against the internet per se, because here we have Radio Sai now, very, very active. In those days, there was no Radio Sai. It was very hard to get material on Swami. And basically, my brothers also helped by sending me stuff and discourses as they came straight. They used to print the discourses in a couple of days in Patti, and then I would get them from my brother, and then we would put this up and discuss it in study circles. So that's how that started. So Swami is never against technology. He's for the purposeful use of technology for mankind, not as something for entertainment and wasting of time. No. So we have to take like everything like a knife is useful for cooking. It's not used for murder. So we have to use technology for the benefit of mankind and not to bring his mind down. As I mentioned, my grandfather had a photographic memory, could remember things. It was all inculcated in him by the Vedic training, which we have let go of. Our temples are under government control, money squandered, and we don't follow the great wealth of knowledge that even Swami has delivered. Now, everything available on the internet, everything, Swami's discourses, take advantage of that. Technology, for good use, yes.
Sai Ram, sir. So with that, viewers, we will conclude today's satsang, followed now by a vote of thanks. We will finish by 8:45. Request you to stay on for a small prayer song, which will be offered. A bhajan basically will be played, and we will conclude. Over to Shri Venkatji of Sai Kendra to offer the vote of thanks for today. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, thank you very much for your invite.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Thank you, sir, for this wonderful talk today. This district, East Coast district, is the youngest district in Tamil Nadu. So most of the families here really didn't have the privilege of person darshan sambhashan with Swami. And it is wonderful to hear from you and the generations. We've seen this journey from 1960s to now. It has been a wonderful 41 hour talk to understand all these experiences from your family. Thank you very much for sharing all this, painstakingly putting all this data together. Wonderful presentation, coming through all the explanations. And we look forward to, I know this is the first day, we have 3 more days of sharing all your experiences, blessing all of us with all those experiences. Thank you very much for your time and spending this evening with us. We look forward to joining you again tomorrow and continue this discussion. We will conclude the session today with the Samasta Loka, and after that again we will meet again exactly same time 7:15 p.m. tomorrow and have this continued interaction with Shri Ghandikota family. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba Ji ki
Jai.
Jai.
साई सरस्वती माँ, मुक्ति प्रदायिनी माँ, शक्ति प्रदायिनी माँ,